All right, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, 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 Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles, great millstone, and honors and salutations to all you Akim that's laboring in the truth and sincerity without wavering. And this is gonna be another show. We're gonna call it The Mark of the Beast. It's all connecting, and it's beautiful because I was just watching a video, short video from Apostle Tahar on the Mark of the Beast, one of his recent videos he did, and I guess it was based off a video that the brother Elder Yashwamba from Dallas did, which I'm sure I'll see that video as well. But I was watching the video Apostle Tahar did, which is beautiful, and we've been saying this thing, and you can't deny and see. That's how a lot of people going to be. The prophecy is going to shut everybody up, man. All right, the Lord already had us speak on the prophecies and the things that are happening, but when they happen, you got a lot of people, and I'm talking about people that should know better, that call themselves Israelites or whatever. They should have understood that the mark of the beast is dealing with the RFID chip that they want to put inside of everybody. So if you watch that video, Pastor shows a video with I guess it's one of the senators that's speaking about basically chipping the immigrants. So it all makes sense now why you know that they haven't, because before, remember, you had at one point they said, oh, we gotta get rid of the immigrants, we gotta get rid of them, which we told you that was bullshit anyway, because first of all, who's gonna do the bullshit jobs? And the elites, Esau don't believe in no fucking hard working and cleaning up stuff and fixing stuff and all of this other. So they need, it's a reason why they purposely set up, they let these so-called immigrants, and primarily the Israelites, although you got some of these which some of them might be Jake too, but primarily the Mexicans and the South Americans and Central Americans. A lot of those are the immigrants. The reason why they let them in there because they know that they are hard workers. They go back which proves that with the Israelites, because that goes back during the time of Egypt. All right, and that's why they ration out what to the Israelites back then. They would make what was it, hardcore bondage. All right. Matter of fact, let me just read it real quick because I'm trying to remember the quote real quick back in Exodus, the first chapter, right? So this is Exodus chapter 1, and remember this is New Egypt. All right, it's also known as Babylon the Great. But when you read in Revelations, the 11th chapter, when you go through the prophecies, America is known also as Egypt spiritually. All right, and guess who was the main focus in Egypt? The Israelites. You see, and the Egyptians of that time, the actual so-called Egyptians, because they weren't calling themselves Egyptians, they were calling themselves Mizraim. All right, which was one of the sons of Ham, but they were in power at that time, and they were trying to figure out what to do with the Israelites. You see, and they were conspiring against us. So I'm just gonna read this real quick. Then I'm going to the article and show you how everything is connected. And of course, the RFID chip is the mark of the beast without a shadow of a doubt. And now you're gonna see it. You see. So now this is Exodus 1:8. It says, now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. And even to this day, that's why Esau did all this nonsense, Jim Crow law, and separate, put Jake against each other. But there's way more Israelites on this earth than there are Edomites, man. We are the majority, man. Hell, we're sprinkled throughout all the nations in the four corners of the earth. All right, and you gotta remember, it's 12 tribes that make up one nation. The so-called Negroes, the West Indians, Haitians, Dominicans. You got the Esau. Why do you think the Puerto Ricans? All right, because that's the blessing, right? Aparian. That's what the name Ephraim means, right? Which is what you call it, a Norman omen, and that's what the so-called Puerto Ricans are known for, being fruitful and having a lot of children and everything. You see, so that's why Esau was practicing, these these different doctors that was going down there practicing their sterilization and they basically abortions and all that stuff and giving the Puerto Rican women cancer. Basically, they try to they sterilize the majority. There's one Jake, he was speaking on it in a video that the brother sent me. And then if you go back, you had, I think it was Dr. Cecil Rhodes, if I'm saying it right, who later became Dr. Manhattan. If that's the right guy, if I got the right name. But anyway, it was a doctor that was sitting there basically giving the Puerto Rican women breast cancer and all that stuff. They was experimenting with them with that, with the sterilization program. These are things they were doing because why? They know who we are. They know that the Ephraimites are known for being fruitful. All right, so there's never, and then you got the so-called Mexicans, which are the primary target of the so-called immigrants, right? As well as other South Americans, right? But these are all Israelites, man. So we outnumber them. And the same thing happened back in ancient Egypt. So it said, and he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply and it come to pass. And that's why, just bringing it up into today's time, that's why they created the genocidal programs, man. All right? Planned Parenthood and all these other different, that have all these underlying tones, which is basically to eliminate us. All right? Genocide against us, the real Israelites, the so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans. That's why they sit there, they use us for whatever ideals and everything, then they get rid of Jake and they put their name on it for the patent, or they the ones who, they replace us with them. Like the scriptures say, he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. But it says, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also into our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them. And yeah, you got the taskmaster, you got these other nations that are like taskmasters over us. Because here it is, and Jake is asking these questions time and time. Because why? When you live, Jake, the urbanized areas, the projects, the ghettos and everything, that's all people living in there. The barrios, okay, same shit. Even if you go through these other countries, in France and throughout Europe and everything, all people are living in the worst parts of these countries. And they ask, why is that? And then how is it in these countries is that we all can identify to the same thing of some so-called Arabs from whichever part of the Middle East they come from, so-called Chinese from whichever part of China they come from or whatever, the East Indians, they all come in our neighborhoods where we live at. They own the gas stations, the laundromats for the most part, the stores, Kennedy Fried Chickens, that's the Arab joints, Chinese food restaurants. You see what I'm saying? So back then they did the same thing. That's a taskmaster. Somebody, you set over somebody to keep a watch on them and make sure they don't rise above. You understand? So that's the same thing that's happening now. But it said, therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for the Pharaoh treasure cities, going into the different pyramids and everything. All right. Jumping. Okay, now I read on. It said, but the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. That sound like a particular people? It said the more they afflicted the Israelites, the more they multiplied and grew. So they got bigger. Even they putting all this hell on them. Here it is today. Esau, and that's what got these devils fucked up, because they sought out to get the wipe us out, to try to erase the memory, erase the Most High. And that's why these are a bunch of dummies anyway. The only reason why they in power is because of the power of the Most High, and it's according to his will. But back then, they were, trying to kill us back then, but we just kept growing, Like the saying, I think it was not Robert Townsend, Robin Harris. He said, like Bebe's kid, we don't die, we multiply. You see? And that's a true saying about Israel. The more hell that Esau put on us with all this, different ways of, these different shots and everything that they gave the women, the different fluoridated water, all kind of things to destroy. I mean, they have broken us down, but we still increase. Jake is still pushing out all kind of babies and everything through. And that's why Esau is in Marvel too, because they're like, damn, we did all these different poisoned them and all these genocidal programs we set up, and they're still having babies. They're still growing and increasing. The same thing happened back then. But now it says, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And now who's grieving Esau is the prophets, because you got majority of our people don't even know that they're the Israelites no more. All right, because of the job, which goes back to the Most High and his curses and the prophecies for us disobeying them. But our people, a lot of our people don't even know that they're the Israelites now. But it said, verse 13, and the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. Now, we can't relate to that. All right. And again, when you go back to Revelation 11 chapter, tell you who the modern day Egyptians are these devils, man. It said the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. All right. Matter of fact, let's go into that word rigor. Rigor. Oh, pardon me. Here we go. Parak. Okay. From Lashawan Kodash. Let's see. Look, harshness, severity, cruelty. And what this devil's been doing to us, man, and they're getting ready to raise the taxes up more. They got it to the point where Jake had to work 2, 3, 4 jobs just to pay the bills. All right. They created this unjust economy with an unjust money system. All right. Which deals with all kind of inflations and taxation. It's definitely a feudal society / capitalist society. They benefit off of any and everybody, you see? So this is what was going on back then, and it's happening now. This is what we're facing now, you see? And for the longest, we've been sitting up here through the power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, crying out from the head elder apostles, okay, to the teachers before them, down to the brothers, that, to the rest of the body of Great Millstone. We've been out here for years, man, decades, crying and teaching the same word, telling you about this devil. We've been telling you, all right? And that's according to the scriptures, man. You see, because it tells you, what's that? 2 Corinthians 2:11. And I'm going to go to we'll read the article, but, the scriptures is the main thing anyway, so. All right, see, 2 Corinthians 2:11, exactly. It said, least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Now, we've been showing you the devices, and when you look at that word devices up, it goes into the imagination, such as these diabolical plans that these devils created, And it's all according to prophecy, because the Lord said that they were going to get in power, they were going to do all this wickedness, rape, rob, and murder the whole earth, and then that they was going to make this RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, you see, and then chip the people, because why? This devil, as it tells you, which we don't get the scriptures, he's never satisfied, man. All right, but now let me just go to some of this article here. We'll get back to the scriptures, of course. All right, this is from the Times, New York Times. It said the article is House tackles Biden's immigration plans amid migrant influx. And there was another article, I can't find it, it was in the Post, showing you how a lot of these immigrants, how that they were angry with Biden, because basically he reneged on a lot of stuff, because pretty much they're using them as a pawn. All right, it was never a thing of get rid of the immigrants and things like that. First of all, what made America great? It wasn't these so-called white people. It was the slave labor, man. That's what blew them up. The slave labor, starting with the slave trade. All right, that's what all these companies today, they switched their names up and everything, but a lot of these companies, going back to the elites, all right, the international banker family, they were the ones who financed that whole slave trade, the boats that was using for them to bring the slaves from different parts of Africa, different parts of Europe, all right, different parts all over, Spain, Portugal, okay, all over the world, they were grabbing slaves, which were Jakes, so-called Negroes, West Indians, so-called Haitians. Then you had sprinkles of the other tribes. They was taking certain of the Indian tribes, such as Reuben, Gad, Issachar, and the rest of the other northern kingdom. They were sending them back to England in them. There's tons of accounts and history all about that, man. And the scriptures speak about it. He's sending them as gifts, as the scriptures say. All right. So now it says Democrats are preparing to push the first pieces of Biden's immigration plan through the House this week as a migrant surge threatens to unravel an already delicate coalition. So with all these immigrants are coming to the border and everything. Why you think what they did? And I did a show on it too. I can't find it or remember it, but I'm sure y'all brothers remember. They were they had certain activists speaking about what they were doing with the immigrants. They were basically putting them in detention centers, and we told you that they're gonna set these detention centers up. They're gonna be chipping centers basically. All right, but they were saying they were like cages, like makeshift detention centers. All those trailers you see wide when you're on the highway, wide load might have a police or two or a car with flashing lights following it. That's what these things are, you see? And these were for a purpose, man. Okay? So that they could set up shop anywhere at any time. So they got down there, they had a lot of these, and they were saying because they tried, which that one chick, she got busted. I did the video on, I wish I could, with Lord willing, hopefully you brothers seen it. But the chick, I forget her name, she got busted. She was, on the Biden, she's on the Biden campaign. But anyway, then they try to say it was because of COVID. That's why we're gonna cage them like this and keep them separate so the social distance. It was a bunch of bullshit. But at the end of the day, what it is, they setting them up there for what? To chip them. And that goes back to the prophecy, because matter of fact, I gotta go there and read it in Revelations 13. Go there first. Go straight to the point. I mean, all of course, that's all good. Which, I mean, you brothers already noticed the apostles broke this down so many times. We broke it down. Other brothers who the Spirit revealed it to broke it down. The members of Great Millstone, you know what I'm saying? So you brothers, y'all should know and understand these breakdowns, man. And that's the Spirit that got the apostle, always go back to the breakdowns. And that's how it was. When we was in the school, the apostle Tar used to, for a whole month or two, we'll be going over Revelations, the 12th chapter. After the camp close up, get our food, whatever, go back to the school, and we'll go over the Revelations, the 12th chapter. And maybe Barack from HMDC, he should have came and sat in some of them classes, man. But we were constantly going over the scriptures. All right? You can ask the apostles, you can ask any of the other bishops that was around. All right? And then after that, Apostle Tar, early in them days, Apostle Tar would have these different videos on the Illuminati, going into certain of this globalization, New World Order and stuff. So after you went through all the breakdowns, it'd be about 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Hey, y'all brothers wanted, hell yeah. And then we checking, he was showing us the videos, breaking the stuff down back then, going deep into the wee hours of the night, into the morning. You see? All right? And it's heavy because all that's coming full circle to today. Like all those lessons back then, the Spirit had Apostle Tar teaching us and stuff. Now we see it still today. And back then, nobody didn't really know about the Illuminati or conspiracy. If you said anything about a conspiracy or whatever, that anything was staged and set up, man, everybody shitted on you, man. People looked at you like you was crazy. All right? I remember when I was I was locked up I got locked up in 92, 93 or whatever, but I had already knew the truth. And the Spirit had me get locked up because I didn't fully, I was still fucking around or whatever. And I had to go through that because I didn't understand how you're supposed to come in the truth back then, But anyway, I remember with the brother back then at the time when he was in his right mind. All right, Gabaria, we call Gabanzo now because he's lost. He's a lost soul out there right now. But anyway, back then he taught me about the basics, and then I remember learning about I don't know if it was from one of the videos I watched or however, but I was teaching about the Star Wars program back in 93, the winter 93, and the motherfucking CEO or whatever, that motherfucker laughed me to scorn. Like he was, he was trying to the point where the Spirit had me just curse him the fuck out, right? Not even willing, not want, but he's Star Wars. This nigga talk about some Hollywood shit, But it was one dude, Ephraimite cat. He said, "Nah, I heard about that. I know what you're talking about." But he ain't want to, he was ashamed because that's the point is when you spoke about the Star Wars program, and that's what I was going into back then. And when you spoke about these things, rolled you, they ridiculed you. You know, you spoke about there's a conspiracy or whatever. They made all kind of fun, but then next thing you know, you started having the cartoons, the gargoyles. They'll mention the word Illuminati. People are like, oh shit, they said Illuminati. You see, because why? Not like now. It's an everyday phrase where people are like, yeah, conspiracy. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you got everybody that or some people did all kind of research and everything, and that's only because we're at the end right now. You see, now is the time. That's why the Lord is allowing all this information to come out. All right, but the point is those lessons that we were going through back then. Now the Lord is bringing it to light. It came to how they say it came to wishing. If I'm saying the phrase right, the Lord made these things manifest themselves, and that's how we see these things clearly, man. Clearly. All right. And again, it came through the Spirit putting on Apostle Tahar to have us constantly go through these things through repetition. All right. And he told us, even High Priest Aryah kind of taught that way too. You see? So that's how the Lord said, make their ears heavy, you know? And the thing that's good about that, it stays with you. But anyway, Salakia, man, pardon me for the rambling. I didn't mean to ramble too much there, but it went there. All right, Revelations 13 and 14. It said, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, which is, America, which they're backed by NATO right now. Okay, and the Most High gave Job 9 and 24. The Lord put them in power to have all this weaponry and everything, right? But it said, which have power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which going back to that system, the same system they had in the Roman Empire, which the beast is nothing but the Roman Empire's deadly wound being healed. When you read further up in the chapter, which that's the system really that America operates under. So that's why everything is, when you go to court, the court systems in America, everything goes back to the Latin words, Latin phrases. You see Roman numerals, because why? It's all that old system of the beast that's been regenerated, right? So that they should make an image to the beast, right? Which had the wound by a sword. Because remember that Rome fell. And Rome fell, and they ain't going to tell you, but Rome fell through Jake, our people. The Lord raised our people up, man. We got all in, just like Jake is in all kind of positions in this government, in this man's government. But see, we're at the time now where that, and even back then, that was prophecy, so it happened, but Yahweh Shai still didn't return yet. We still didn't, we still have more hell to go through. You understand? Then eventually it turned into the Dark Ages further as our people was ruling, which was turned into the Holy Roman Empire, which was nothing but holy, But it was our people, though. All right, it was a changing of the guard. So that's how. So when it says the sword, meaning when Jake, got up in there, which we highlight, knowing 193 AD, but Jake was getting into those. You had Jake Caesars and stuff, or Jake was in the Senate all throughout that system prior to that. But we highlight 193 AD because that's the time you have Severius Septimius, all right, which is, his name means the cutting of the seven, as Apostle Tahar brings that out, all right. So that was a big prophetic moment. But now the Lord said, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Because why? The Renaissance was the beginning of them coming back, which they called it the rebirth, all right, and establishing pretty much at that point domain over the whole world, all right, to where they set up they set up NATO and these other councils of foreign relations. America came out of Great Britain, right? So that's where we're at today. But now the 15th verse, which I guess actually this was the point, the point really, it said, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, excuse me, and that cause Salakia, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. You see? And he caused, So, and that's what it is with this. And this whole system goes back to Rome. All right. And they were doing that back then. They were even to the taxation. All right. That's why the scripture said the kingdom of heaven suffered from the days of John the Baptist until now. The kingdom of heaven doth suffereth violence, and the violent taketh it by force. Who was the violent that took it by force? That was the Roman Empire. So that's why I said, if you ain't going to worship the image of the beast, you should be killed, because that's what they were doing. They were taxing Jake, and then they was locking them up, and they were killing Jakes. They were putting all kind of hell on Jake back then. That's why you had all the rebellions, just like the same thing that's happening today. That's why you had all these other different groups. And then now you got these Israelite groups. But see, the thing is, now is the time. This is the end. We at the end. That was the beginning of the last days. We're at the end of the last days, man. All right. So it said, and he calls it all. There we go. Both small and great. Meaning the small such as like the immigrants. All right. Rich and poor. The rich, a lot of them been gladly taking the chip. All right. Because why? The people that are rich in this world is either Esau himself, the goddamn devil, or they bow down and they're part of this satanic society, like all your entertainers and so forth and so on. They're all a part of this wickedness, man. All right. It says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So what's that mark? The mark is talking about that chip, the RFID chips. It said in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, if the jab does anything to help, so be it. But it's an actual chip, because like I said, you can get jabbed up, but you still go to get a Moderna jab, and if you survive, if you don't drop out like Marvelous Marvin Hagler or Hank Aaron or these other jakes that they put up, basically they just murdered them, all right? Because they ain't in their right mind. You got a lot, when you get older, you get weak, soft, you do shit that you know what I'm saying? So that's why you gotta pray to the Lord to keep your mind. Like Moses, he had his full strength, and when he died, that's a blessing. You got strong, we're Israelites. You got a lot of brothers that have their strength in their old age. They still got their mind. They still in their 80s, sitting there chopping wood or doing things, going in their night. You got men that's in this truth, older men that still got their mind. But most times, because of this flesh, if you all sickly and all jacked up, you got to do shit that you'll say things and give speeches you normally wouldn't give. You see what I'm saying? So and Esau knows that, so he preys on the weak amongst our Jake. But it says he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Pardon, not their forehands, the foreheads. All right, pardon me. And I said it yesterday, or the other day, the last show I did, as far as all these people out here that's going to take the chip, then they're going to have a date. If they make it through all the other destruction, they definitely ain't going to pass through the nuclear missiles. All right? And the Lord is going to have a lot of people preserved just for the missile. You got a date with those nuclear missiles, man. You see? You got a date. Matter of fact, we're going to go to the 14th chapter. Matter of fact, I'm going to just read through 14 and 1. Revelations 14 and 1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on a Mount Zion. That lamb is speaking about Yahweh Shai, the Lord. That's where our salvation lies. And with them 144,000. And these ain't no damn crackers, and you ain't going to find the 144,000 of the Lord inside no goddamn Kingdom Hall, inside no damn Church of the Latter-day Saints, Latter-day Satans. All right? You ain't going to find the 144 in no damn Christianity. You damn sure ain't going to find them in the Roman Catholic Church. And you definitely ain't going to find them in no damn mosque. All right? The 144,000 are the prophets, man, that's out there preaching and prophesying with the spirit of prophecy, man. All right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's the 144,000 that are going to stand stiffly and boldly for this truth and not sell out. All right? It says, having his father's name written in their foreheads. All right? Which is real important. A lot of people said the name is not important. Well, not according to what the scripture says. This is the 144,000. The name is going to be written in their foreheads. So that sounds pretty important to me. And I heard a voice from heaven as a voice of many waters, And as the voice of a great thunders, right? It said, and I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. You see? And they sung, as it were, a new song before the throne and before the beasts and the elders. And no man can learn that song. And this is why a lot of you people can't get it, and you still don't even understand what the chip is. Y'all fighting and wrestling, but it's gonna shame you, because once it's gonna come out. At the end, it shall speak. We at the end, and guess what? It's speaking. It's speaking loud and clear. Loud and clear. So that's what's gonna shame the majority of you other weak sold out ass Israelites, man. All right? Or that don't understand it. No, I don't think it's a chip. Everybody got a fucking opinion now. At one point, nobody ain't want to deal with the chip. Now everybody got their opinion about fuck your opinion, man. Fuck my opinion for that matter. All right? The scriptures say, lean not to your own understanding, man. There's no private interpretation of the scriptures, man. And only the men of the Lord are going to be the ones that's going to be able to teach the scriptures in its entirety and bring out the secrets. That's why the Spirit's heavy on the apostle Tahar to go into the breakdowns and stuff. All right? Some of you guys, y'all try to do it, but you fell, man. Because if the Most High ain't revealed certain things to everybody, and then not knocking any brothers that's sincere. And if you part of the elect, you part of the elect. Wherever you at, the Lord is going to bring you into this thing. Because the Lord said in John the 10th chapter that my sheep hear my voice, man. All right? They're not going to hear the voice of another. You ain't going to get all offended and bent out of shape, man. The Lord is going to open your mind up and you're going to get this truth. But you got to be taught by the men that the Lord set up. The Lord set up men to teach this truth. All right? So it said, and before the beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth, brought back, delivered to the Lord when Yahushua get here. These are they which were not defiled with women. And it don't mean that they didn't have sex like they teach you in these fucking bullshit pagan Roman Catholic churches, man. The women is talking about the philosophies. They didn't get caught up with Esau's philosophy. They didn't get caught up talking about some damn Muhammad riding on a goddamn unicorn with a damn weave hanging off his. They didn't get caught up into that shit, man. They didn't get caught up into no Pentecostal church, no Roman Catholic church. They didn't get caught up into no dance off, or passion show or fashion show at the Passover, man. All right, because that's another woman. That's another philosophy, man. All right, the elect are not going to be defiled by these other philosophies, man. They're not going to take the chip. All right, that whole philosophy of getting jabbed up, that's another woman. So it said, these are they which were not defiled with woman, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb. Again, who was the Lamb? Yahushua. How did they follow the Lamb? They did what he said. He said, you love me, feed my sheep. That's what Yahushua said. All right. And he said, if you love me, keep my commandments. All right. And the commandment that he gave was to preach the word. That's why the Spirit got an apostle Paul, he told Timothy, preach the word, be instant, be ready. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, teaching the word. That's what the Lord commanded. When Yahushua came here, he said his meat is to do the will of the Father. Right? When he told the disciples, look, other meat I got that you know not. And they didn't even get it back then because the Holy Spirit didn't descend on them yet. So they thought it was talking about a regular dish or a regular meal. Because the Passover to a lot of y'all is just a meal. You know what I'm saying? Just like another night at the Cheesecake Factory or something. Y'all not, you don't understand the severity. Man, you know how much blood was shed? All right? Well, you're going to know, because a lot of y'all blood is going to be shed as well. I pray that me and my house, or the brother that I'm with, pray the Lord pass over us. That's why we take things serious, man. Okay? It says, and in their mouth was found no guile. You see? So we ain't never lied to you. The apostles ain't never lied to you. When Apostle Tahar was speaking, like I said, everybody got an opinion about the chip, the mark of the beast. Oh, I think it's this, I think it's that. Well, about 2, 3, 4 years ago, nobody had shit to say. Everybody was running from it like it was a plague. Nah, I ain't gonna touch that. We ain't gonna touch that. Now everybody got their opinion what they think it is. Hey, well, look, the Lord said in that day my servants should be made known. So it's gonna be made known who got the truth. All right, but let me get to the main point. Let's see, bear with me. I'll jump to 7. Saying with a loud voice, fear the Most High and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. and worship and seeing the Lord. That's the time we're coming in. And worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of water. Like Yahushua said, the hour has come when the true worshipers should worship the Most High in spirit and in truth. All right. When he told that chick at Samaria, it says, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, is fallen. That great city, going back to the great city, which is what? America. Because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Just like they got this thing with the jab, which we said is, I believe it still is a precursor. I don't think it's the chip. I don't think it's the mark of the beast. Although if it aids it or because everything Esau does, Esau is a devil, man. You got to remember, the scriptures tell you that they do a diligent search in what? In wickedness, man. All right? Esau, the scriptures say he's wiser than Daniel. So everything with his philosophies, his policies, they lead to his new world order. Him trying to establish it, man. All right? Which the mark of the beast is the main thing, which the Lord prophesied that these devils was going to do that anyway. And now they doing it, So it said, and the thing is, the point is, now you go throughout the whole world, everybody is in on this CV crap or whatever, right? And then they telling you got to get these vaccines, that vaccines. And now guess what they're saying? Because remember, this was supposed to be a temporary thing. They quarantined damn near the whole world, shut everything almost down, barely. Oh, it's 144. That's heavy. That's spiritual. All right? That's a spiritual number. We were just reading about the 144,000. That's heavy, man. And the Spirit of the Lord be working with us, man, from the head elder apostles on down to the body of great millstone. But guess what? You ain't got to take our word for it. You're going to see. As you keep seeing these things happening, you're going to be like, oh, shit. And maybe some of you have character to humble yourself and repent. Or maybe a lot of you are going to die with your pride, But it says, oh, yeah, again, with the other nations. So now, just how they did that, the same thing is going to be done with the implementation of the mark of the beast, man. All right? The implementation, meaning them mandating it, not the fact of, oh, we got a cell phone, they got a chip in it. Like I said, no big shit. Of course, you think we ain't know that? But they ain't never sit there and force it. It said that they going to, when you go back to the 13th chapter, it said and caused them, made everybody take it. Now that's what they're doing, going back. Like I said, the video Apostle Todd did from, I guess he got it from Yashawamba. It showed you that that's the reason why they've been holding up these immigrants. And now you say, oh yeah, see Biden, he's not a racist. He's gonna make them citizens. Yeah, after you chip them, after you give them the mark of the beast, and then when you get the mark of the beast, guess what? You fucked up with the Most High. There's no reversing that. You see, and anybody that gets caught into that, that's just their judgment at the end of the day. All right, but now 9, it said, and the third angel followed him, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. Again, I really don't think this is the jab. I believe that this is the chip, because you ain't getting jabbed in your forehead. All right, but they do have chips to put in your forehead. All right, different cyber chips or whatever they call them that connect you to computer and stuff like that. All right. So it said, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture, which goes into what? The missiles, like the video I did yesterday, going into how you got these people, they increasing, the UK is increasing their nuclear warheads. All right. You got Iran. They got all kind of different nuclear missiles, man. You got dirty nukes. They got all powerful nukes. So that's why I said the wrath of the Most High, which is poured without mixture, man. All right? Straight with no chaser, man. That's how the destruction's coming. And to the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented. Yeah, if you take the chip, whoever takes the chip, the scriptures say you're going to be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, because while the missiles are coming and being shot off, guess what? The chariots is going to be there. All right? The Lord himself. All right? Of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So, I know I veered a little from the the article, but the point is there, the main thing, you got them trying to, like it says here, create a path to citizenship for the immigrants, which that path is going to be what? With them being chipped. All right. So, hopefully with that, brothers and sisters edified, and as always, give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. I say shalom.